Hey everyone, Dr. Shado here with some pretty big news regarding Gamerathon 3 and the Patreon page, and there's a whole lot of stuff that I've done today. 4th of July and I'm doing all this work. Beats Kroger. Anyway, I wrote a bunch of stuff down so that I could remember what it is I have to say, and it's a good thing too because I'm going to get lost really quickly with Tara in heat begging for sex over there. So, major thing is Gamerathon 3 is going to take place in 2015, not 2014. Now, it's not going to be a whole year wait, so don't worry about that. It's not going to be it's not going to be in October, because one thing was, we were looking at how much was needed, how much was raised, and rates we were going, and it's like, okay, definitely going to have a... Tara, hush, please. Tara. You're going in the room. Okay, now, where were we? Ah yes, Gamerathon 3 is happening. It's either April or May. Me and Creepy have been butting heads about this. I'd prefer April, and he says that May would be better. I'm sure you remember the goals. Gamerathon 3, the minimum goal to get to Japan and stay for just 1 month, well, actually just 1 week, was 5,000, just 4,000 for the plane tickets, and then another 1,000 just estimated what we're going to need to survive in Japan for a week with the transit costs and the food and this and that, and then come back to the States and do all the editing there. And the month-long goal was much, much larger at about 14,000, trying to... it's just very, very rough estimates. We're trying to make sure that we would have enough to survive in worst-case scenarios. We didn't have that much research done on exactly what things would cost, so it was a bit hard trying to tack down a number early on for everyone to follow. But as we've gone on and tried to tack down more options and figure out what is the cheapest route for places to stay, what food might cost, and what have you, we found much, much cheaper hotel accommodations, which works quite a lot. And also, we've looked into the homestays option, which is oftentimes cheaper than hotels and could be nicer. And that has considerably brought down that cost, so just the basic normal by October would have been cheaper as well based on our new information, but it still wouldn't be so much cheaper that it would have been really attainable to get the month-long stay. Just barely a week, we would still have to do the Indiegogo campaign and get the rest of what we would need for just the plane tickets to get over there. So that's not looking like it would be a safe bet. So instead, shifted over a little later, and I was doing research on how much things cost in April, and I found they cost a whole lot less. Just the plane ticket itself, the price got cut in half. It was going from $2,000 a person to $1,000. So that right there is a huge difference. So that would actually bring the amount needed for just the 1 week stay. That target has been brought down to 3,000. 2,000 for the plane tickets and the passports and what have you, and then the rest we need for food and places to stay for 1 week or so in Japan. And that, by April, would give us 9 months left to raise funds, and the target to hit that on Patreon is 254. And we're currently sitting on 201. So that's $53. But it gets better. As you know, I've been making money on YouTube now. Ever since Blip kicked me off and I monetized on YouTube and found out that now they're finally letting me monetize on YouTube, I actually am earning quite a bit more than I was on Blip, and June was the first month where I had the earnings roll in, and based on the earnings of that month, it looks like I'll be able to put $100 myself of ad revenue money into the Gamerathon 3 fund. And I'm saying looks like because I'm not saying it's definite, because I've heard a ton of horror stories from people about, yay, I got AdSense on my website, I finally earned enough to get paid, made that $100, and they canceled my AdSense account and kept the money. So I've heard that horror story a lot of times, so I'm not trying to guarantee things here, but if YouTube does pay me, which I'm assuming they will, that would mean that our current funding rate is at about $301 a month for the target of $254. This slight rescheduling, as annoying as it is that it's, Gamerathon 3 is supposed to be October this year and it's not, it looks like it's pretty much happening now. This just want to run out in the street, dance naked, yeah! Is really awesome to see that we may have, just from that slight rescheduling and from Blip kicking me off, met the goal. And that's awesome. So now you're wondering, well, Decker, you said it was so much cheaper overall. How much is a month-long stay going to be? Well, I recalculated a bunch of stuff. Expense breakdown: 2 airplane tickets, $2,000. Hotels for a month, $1,000 to $2,000. Considerably less than the previous estimate. Food, $1,000 to $2,000. I kept that the same. I really don't know. Everyone creepy saying, oh, the little box lunches are cheap. Everyone else is telling me the little box lunches are about the size of a Lunchable. And my own estimates say I'm going to eat like $5,000 worth of food a day. So I don't know. But I got that at $1,000 to $2,000. Transit, $1,000 for a month worth of thing. I'm probably not going to be that much, but that's also for just miscellaneous expenses like, yeah, I'm in Japan and I want to go here and see this and maybe get a bauble. It's the bullshit thing, but the total estimate is $5,000 to $7,000. So the target goal I have set at $6,000, and to reach that per month by April is $587.34. So we're currently at $201, so that would be $386 to go. But if the $100 for the ad revenue comes in per month, that would be down to $286.34. That damn close for the whole month stay just on the basic Patreon funding. So I'm not thinking that that's going to go, unless everyone's like, this is awesome, I really like this reschedule, and let's run off to Patreon and fund this right now. I mean, I've had Patreon for a few months now. I've seen the ups and downs. I think maybe someone saw the changes done today because it's suddenly, I lost a patron and $2 a month. It happens. I know there's some people who are going to be very upset that it's not going to be by October, and I may get more people pulling their funding. That happens. But, I mean, with the target goal 254, current 201, current 301, if the 301 works, then technically I can afford to have people say fuck it and leave. And we'll still get Gamerathon 3, which is awesome. So I'm just happy about Gamerathon 3. Also, you might have noticed on the expense breakdown, a certain surface is missing. Creepy has convinced me that his laptop is magical and can actually do video editing. So I'm working under that assumption that I can schlep on his laptop for a month. I'd also bring my own external hard drive to have as a place to put the footage, because one thing he tells me is that he doesn't have much space on his laptop and he edits video just fine. I'm complaining about running out of space on my 3 terabyte hard drive, and he's telling me how he works with 40 gigabytes and that's how he does his entire show. And I'm thinking, how the fuck can you do that? The current state of funding, if we take YouTube earnings into account, means we're raising $47 more per month than actually needed to reach Gamerathon 3 in Japan for a stay of 1 week. And we are just $286.34 short of the whole month goal. And so, I mean, also I know my general pledge rewards, people don't really care too much about the podcast. I put it up there, some people listen, I know, but I've got 17 patrons, or... Yeah, 17 patrons now. I used to have 18, I have 17 now. And I put up the podcast, and usually I get 5 views on it, maybe? And I have the $10 live feed that people can participate in, which is really fun. I like doing that. Not too many people get involved. More people seem to get involved in the podcast, but that's also, I gotta work with the schedules and try and give people enough time and have a day that everyone can show up. Because I've had a varied amount of my patrons showing up to the live feeds, which is really nice. I just really wish I could get it in a schedule that everyone can join in, because they're a lot of fun. They're a lot more fun with more people around. I think, like, if I wouldn't have it on Patreon, I was like, why wasn't I doing this once a month on YouTube anyway? But now that it's a Patreon goal, I don't want to devalue it. So, but there is a new pledge level, the $5 pledge level. Because, the podcast was $1, the live feed was the $10 goal, but I wanted something in between because I didn't like that huge jump. And the whole huge problem that I had last month with the Satanic Rites of Dracula riff going up for Patreon, but it was an unlisted video, and then everything went to shit because it was this huge, the public domain copyright thing. I think that it has to do with the worldwide copyright on that, because whenever I researched that movie, there was no question of, is this or is this not public domain? All the arguments I heard about it was, how is this public domain? Because we know it's public domain, but I'd like to know how it ended up there. And so that was really confusing to be hit with a copyright strike over that. But, I figured out how to get that up for Patreon. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to be something that I can just make public later. So my one plan of it being like a timed exclusive on Patreon, and then later going up on YouTube with ads. That doesn't look like it's happening, at least not with the Satanic Rites of Dracula. Just have the audio file of the commentary between myself, Creepy, and the voice of Chibi Thulu in Goyama. Have that as its own thing, and then have a link to someone else's upload of the Satanic Rites of Dracula that it was just the fucking movie that they never got into trouble for. But, got that. And it should work well enough for people to sync it up themselves. Unfortunately, I don't have a sync-up guide on that one because it wasn't designed to be done that way from the start. It was supposed to just be put in a movie. And it worked really well for that. Unfortunately, I gotta have something to have it sync up now, and I'm gonna have to do that for anything in the future. But that's up today. I put that up just now. So that's a $5 goal, and people can enjoy that. And Gamerathon 3 in Japan is pretty much a go at this point. Just gotta see about getting the month-long thing, which is a hell of a lot more attainable now. And if it does come down to a fundraiser, which it might, based on 286 per month, 9 months to go, every month that the goal isn't met, the goal will increase because that's how math works. And it's I'm assuming that it's not going to hit that, so we're probably going to have an Indiegogo fundraiser sometime around January 2015, so that anything raised will not be taxed, because all this is going to be taxed. But that's just how it is. And I'm really excited. It's like, it's there. It can be done, and it pretty much is being done already. And I'm going to Japan. Not this year, but I'm going to Japan. Holy shit. Thank you all so much. And, well, keep up the good work. Or should I? Let's both keep up the good work. Let's all keep up the good work. And, well, I know my subscribers have been increasing significantly also, because That's another thing, because since the last time I really pushed Patreon Gamerathon 3, I've gotten hundreds of subscribers. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I did that, too. I mean, so I'm thinking, yeah, since when I started the Patreon, I had about 4,000 subscribers. Now, this month, I'm going to hit 6. At the rate we're going, I'm going to hit 6,000 this month. I also had a 5,000 special that I was supposed to do, but everything got in the way. Crap. One of those things with having to bike 20 miles to try and pull anything off, and also trying to get ahead on your videos. It doesn't really work out so well sometimes. But, yeah, it's really amazing. I'm really... I mean, I'm here saying I'm so happy, and it seems weird, but the thing is I'm also kind of shocked, and still my brain isn't believing it. Because I was just looking at Gamerathon 3 and seeing the target increase as the funds raised are not reaching the target. You remember the original goal for 5,000 by October for less than a week. That was a $400 goal, and last it was looking on Patreon, the target had increased beyond 1,000 a month. So it's like, this is not happening. So the target for the month-long stay in Japan, that's something that will probably be going up as we don't hit the goal, and I'm hoping that it's not going to be as much, and it'll be more attainable, because 286, we'd have to get 286 more in funding this month to secure that. But if we just got like 100 more this month, and then the goal would increase, but would it increase so much that we would need so much more? I'm not sure. I wish I had calculated that as well ahead of time, but so much going on, and so much Gamerathon 3, and holy shit. Oh! But I should also mention to everyone potentially upset that Gamerathon 3 is no longer happening in October, there is still something happening in October, and I'm hoping that everyone's going to like it. I haven't divulged too much into it. Even on the Patreon feed, in the live feed, I did mention a few details, but nothing giving away exactly what it is. But people seemed pleased with the direction, so at least know that there are very few people out there who did like this, so, without actually knowing what it is. So. Yay! So, thank you all for watching. I've been Shado, and remember, visit the Patreon page. If you haven't yet, just check it out and see what the goals are, see everything. Woo! God damn, Gamerathon 3 is happening. I still don't believe it, do I?